On May 5th, 2023, we've got another powerhouse eclipse. This one's in Scorpio. It happens at 1:34 p.m. Eastern time, so calculate that for your own time zone. But it's a powerhouse. This one is close to the South Node, so that lets us know that it's very much about endings. It's about releasing that which no longer serves. The Sabian symbol for Scorpio 15 is children playing around 5 mounds of sand. And the final note that Dane Rudyard makes about this symbol is future-oriented growth. So that seems a little odd for a South Node eclipse, especially a South Node eclipse in Scorpio. Again, we usually think of endings. But in this case, it kind of reminds me of like the burial mounds, the old mounds of the native cultures, the mystery cultures that are no longer around. What sort of information do they have for us? What kind of secrets do they hold? And those secrets could have something to do with our way of living on the earth. Again, we're on that Scorpio-Taurus axis. And speaking of that, this is the inversion of the eclipse on November 8th, 2022. So for clues of how this might play out in your life as kind of a redo or an opportunity to have a second chance, take a look at what was going on in November 2022 for you. If you have anything in fixed signs, so Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, Aquarius in the 10 to 20 degree range, you're definitely going to feel this one in a big way, as you also would have felt that November 8th, 2022 eclipse. So have a look there, see what comes up. And just because this is an inversion, it lets us really reevaluate, redo things that maybe we tried back then and we couldn't quite bring them down to earth. Scorpio is also the sign of rebirth. So even if it didn't take root in Taurus back in November, maybe with this Scorpio eclipse, we get another chance to expand, to become who we really are. The sun point of this eclipse conjuncts Uranus. It's not a tight conjunction, but that definitely adds to a liberating flavor to the eclipse. Issues that are traditionally associated with Scorpio besides death and rebirth are intimacy, any kind of sexual issues, sexual shame, connections with other people in that way. Some of the gender debates may come up more strongly during this time. Also, Scorpio is a sign of shared resources. In my video on the full moon in Libra, I was talking about all the different partnerships that I was seeing come as kind of like a preview of the new Earth energies. Both Libra and Scorpio deal with how we interact with other people. So Libra, the last full moon, was very much about partnerships, and Scorpio is very much about shared resources. And so even though it's always very important to have our own primary relationship with ourself and spirit, however that plays out for you, these two full moons, the April 5th to 6th full moon in Libra and the May 5th full moon lunar eclipse in Scorpio, are both going to deal in some way, shape, or form with relationships. That could be intimate relationships. Scorpio, again, has that connection with intimacy, but it could also be any kind of relationship where there's a power struggle. If there's manipulation involved in a relationship, that needs to go. That's not part of our new Earth. That's not part of the paradigm that we're moving into. So look for the obvious things that you can release, that you already want to let go of. If you voluntarily engage with the energy of getting rid of that which no longer serves, then a lot of times you've kind of satisfied that destruction energy of an eclipse. And so things can just go more gently for you. So just a word to the wise. I'm going to link a few videos below, including the Pluto retrograde plus May 2023 forecast, which I did with my good friend and astrologer, Timothy Glenn. That one really gets into what's going on throughout the month of May, because this eclipse is just kind of one of the early transits. It actually starts to get more intense as we continue through the month. So Practice excellent energy hygiene. Do that energy brush off as needed because, again, even if you're managing your energy well, others around you may feel a little more chaotic. And just know that this is a great opportunity for a second chance. If you're not happy with how things turned out in the fall, if you feel like life has been kind of passing you by and when are you going to catch a break, this eclipse actually really ushers in new energy. So even though it's backwards looking, it's also very much about what do we need to do in order to move ahead and live our brightest future. All right, until next time, take care.